Types of nerves. There are two types of fibers, sensitive and motor. The sensitive fibers carry the nerve impulses to a central nervous system coming from the sense organs, for example, the eye, and from the receptors of various parts of the body, for example, the skin. The motor fibers drive the nerve impulses from the central nervous system to the effector organs, for example, muscles and glands. The nerves are divided into cranial or spinal. The cranial nerves exit the cranial cavity through holes in the skull and are identified by the descriptive name, for example, trochlear nerve or by a Roman number. Only 11 of the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves originate from the encephalon. The remaining part arises from the upper part of the spinal cord. The spinal nerves exit the spine through the intervertebral hole. They arise in bilateral pairs in artery 1 and are identified by a letter and a number, for example T4. The letter designates the region of the spinal cord: C. cervical, T. thoracic, L. lumbar, S. sacral, CO. coccygeal, and the number determines the order. Spinal nerves. The spinal nerves begin in the spinal cord in the form of root fillets that converge to form two roots, an anterior and a posterior. The anterior root is composed by motor fibers that travel from the bodies of the neurons of the anterior horn of the medullary gray matter to the peripheral effector organs. The posterior nervous root is formed by afferent sensory fibers from the cell bodies in the sensory ganglia of the spinal nerves, or the posterior root that extend peripherally to the sensory endings and centrally to the posterior horn of the medullary gray matter. The anterior and posterior roots join within the intervertebral foramen to form a mixed spinal nerve that divides immediately into two branches, a posterior branch and an anterior branch. The unilateral area of muscle mass that receives innervation from the fibers of a spinal nerve is a myotome. The unilateral area of skin innervated by the sensory fibers of a spinal nerve is called a dermatome. Cranial nerves. When they are emerging from the central nervous system, some cranial nerves carry only sensory fibers, others only carry motor fibers, and others carry a mixture of both types of fibers. Somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is composed by somatic portions of the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. It provides sensory and motor innervation to all parts of the body, except the viscera, the smooth muscle, and the glands. The sensitive somatic system transmits the sensations of pain, temperature, and position from the sensitive receptors. The somatic motor system innervates only the skeletal muscles. Autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is composed by motor fibers that stimulate the smooth muscle, the cardiac muscle, and the glandular cells. The nerve fibers and ganglia of the autonomic nervous system are organized in two systems, the sympathetic or thoracolumbar division and the parasympathetic or craniosacral division. Unlike the somatic innervation, in both divisions of the autonomic nervous system, a series of two neurons intervenes to drive the impulses from the central nervous system to the effector organ. The body of the first presynaptic neuron is located in the gray matter of the central nervous system, and its fiber establishes synapses only in the body of a postsynaptic neuron, the second neuron of the series. Thank you for your attention.